What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Meadows and Makers podcast. My name is Greg Dowd. I'm known as Making Stuff in the Hive community. Welcome to my podcast. I try to bring everybody a little bit of a white pill, so to say. Keep you guys up to date on a lot of the projects I'm doing, and just generally some ideas on how, you know, people can step around the giant pile of shit that we're all facing as our future. And, you don't have to live in that reality. We can create our own reality. We're co creators, we're creative, intelligent beings that can figure out our ways out of problems. And so that's what my show's all about. I try to bring you guys along the journey of my personal journey on creating more self-reliance in my own life and trying to teach some of those lessons learned from things that I'm working on and how to move forward. So hope you guys had a great week last week. Thank you guys for tuning in last week. This week's gonna happen a lot like we did last week, and I titled this episode God, Gold, Guns, and Monero because that's what I want to try to focus on tonight. Like we did last week, I think I'm going to go for like the first hour streaming to YouTube, which is one on my channel on YouTube, and then we're going to switch over to doing Odysee only in the second hour because I'm tired of dealing with YouTube and what I can and can't say on there. So I never know what they're gonna do about certain things that you can and can't say on there. So we're gonna talk about more spicy stuff in the second hour, and that's gonna go that'll be up on my Odysee channel. So let me drop a link to that here and in the chat room as well. Gabriel, what's up? This is what our enlightened oppressors are trying to process global humanity through right now. Exactly, yeah. They're trying to push us into a giant pile of shit of their making, and I don't want to participate, and I hope none of you guys do either. And so, like I said, we're creative beings, and through our struggle, we can create alternative solutions. I want to present to you an interesting solution that I've been thinking about for a little while, and in the hour two of the podcast tonight. But tonight, I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I'm going to start off the show tonight by showing you guys some stuff that I've been working on at the local makerspace, the Monkey's Wrench in town. And I will be able to show you guys some of the progress I've made with that. So let me go ahead and make sure that you guys we're streaming to mspwaves.com/watch as well out there. But yeah, the full stream of tonight's episode, the replay, I will be making sure to tag that in Odysee, and then as always there will be the stream replay on YouTube, but that will only be the first hour. So that's how I'm gonna start rolling with all this. So that's how I'm gonna do that. And now I have the chat making sure that it's integrated to my other scenes so that I can see what you guys are talking about in the chat room as well. So Gabriel, you're saying from losses, we go around the bend into their non-specified new ways. And yeah, fuck them. I'm having their knowledge. I'm hacking their knowledge systems. Bloody bums. Yeah, for sure, man. So what's up, Rondon and Crimson Cloud? I see you guys hanging out there in the chat room as well. Thank you guys for being here. tonight. So let me show you guys what I have been working on at the Makerspace. And I recently, like this last weekend, I was able to get over there. And actually, not over the weekend. I had to help my youngest brother move some stuff to his apartment. So was busy doing that on Saturday. We hung out with my youngest brother and helped him out get some stuff moved with my truck. And then we went. I went on Sunday. I went over to pick up a barrel from my property and so that I could have a reserve water barrel for the aquaponics system, Robbie's Urbanite aquaponics system, where you can find his plans. You can find them here at DIYaquaponic.com. And he has created some new stuff for his for the website there, including the virtual tour of the of the system. So if you go there, you can click through the link that he's provided there on his website at DIYaquaponic.com. You can take a virtual tour of how the system is set up, and so very, very close to having this system functioning so that it can be the functional prototype of of Robbie's designs for his DIY plans. So everybody go check that out, and let me show you guys a little bit of what I've been working on here. So just posted these videos real quick to Twitter before coming on to the show tonight. So I think I've got everything set up so that I can show this to you guys. Hey, yep, looks like it's good to go. So let me go ahead and I'll play this first video for you, which is just how I got it set up right now. I'm kind of tucked away in the bathroom past the IT closet at the Makerspace right now. That was the closest place that I could get that had a sink that I could connect to get the water plumbed into the reverse osmosis filter. It's kind of a temporary thing for now, just to get this started, and so we can get the system filled with water and get everything up and running. And there's also a total dissolved solids meter on the reverse osmosis filter, so I could check, the input versus the output. And it looked like the input TDS reading was like 110 parts per million, something like that. And then the output was reading 0 parts per million. So I read the instruction manual on the TDS meter, and it says it comes calibrated from the factory. But if you wanted to do your own calibration, you have to calibrate to salt water at a certain solution, and then you what do you have to do? You have to actually compare it with another total dissolved solids meter, and so which you would also have to calibrate. So anyway, I didn't go through that calibration process, but anyway, I'm kind of going on a rant there, but let me go ahead and play this for you. What's up, everybody? I'm here at the Makerspace right now and working on setting up the reverse osmosis filter. So this is what we got going on right here. In the bathroom, tucked up in the corner, we've got an adapter that can adapt to a sink faucet. And we've got the reverse osmosis filter and a penetration to go outside there. So I've got this thing hooked up and going to give it a first test. So we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. Yeah, so it's a little janky. We had a little bit of leaking going on that thing. So it was. I got the faucet hooked up to the reverse osmosis filter, and I cranked it up all the way, and then we actually started to get leaking through the actual building plumbing right by the wall where under the sink. So actually, I had to dial it back quite a bit. Dial that valve back on the faucet quite a bit, but we still kept a flow going. What's up, Plucked Off 614? Hi, on Theta TV. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. But so that is like the first start of the system here, and right now it's cranking away and it's creating water, and so I had to feed the water line through the building through a drain fitting that was there in the bathroom, right by the water heater. So I'm assuming it was the drain for that water heater. It was like an overflow drain for that water heater. It looks like that's probably how it was set up in the beginning. But I had to cut off the elbow on the inside and in the outside of the building so that I could be able to fish through this 1/4 inch outer diameter tubing that for the wastewater and then the filtered water line. So the wastewater line is in white. And the way these reverse osmosis filters work is that they reject like 3 to 1. They'll like reject 3 gallons and for every 1 gallon of filtered water by moving it through like a sediment. It's a 4-stage filter, so it goes through like a membrane as the first stage, and then it goes through like a sediment filter. It goes through a carbon filter, and then finally it goes through like a resin filter that helps like strip any or like catches any other contamination that might get through after those first 3 stages. So it does that, and then a lot of the water that goes through the system gets rejected, and so you have this waste line that's like constantly flowing out the rejected water, and you're only left with that filtered water. But here is the video of that, that how I've got it all running to the system right now. All right, so this is how the water is currently coming out of the building. There was this previous penetration here for a drain of some kind, so we just use that. And part of it's the wastewater that's getting rejected, and then this blue line is all the filtered water. And right now I've got it going into a 55-gallon tank with that's set up with a garden hose fitting at the bottom, and we're gonna have the garden hose running into the sump tank, and we're gonna pump the water up through the aquarium and through the system. So I'm gonna look for a little bit more sophisticated solution. I'm gonna have to get more of this 1/4 inch tubing for the filter, but for right now this gets us operational so that we can start generating enough water to get into the aquaponics system here, and we can start getting some fish and some plants growing. So alright, I'll catch you guys on the next one. I just wanted to make this quick update video. Peace. All right, so yeah, that was what I went after over the weekend, was to go and grab that 55-gallon barrel so that the water that's being generated by the filter could have a place that was basically so that I could move it around, so that I could actually get it closer to where the water is being generated, but also a reserve tank for the system. So if there, we needed to drain off part of the water in the system, that I would have reserve water to fill back into the aquaponics system without having to use just the regular old tap water. Because our tap water is full of a lot of different contamination, so it is not so good to add into your fish. Turns out that fish don't like to swim in chlorine and chlorinated water. And so you got to get rid of that stuff somehow. You got to either use, you either use rainwater, or you got to use something like this reverse osmosis filter if you're going to use tap water. Or some other type of filtration that gets rid of that chlorine. I mean, you could go and you could let that you could fill up something and let that chlorine off gas. But there's other stuff in the water, and I wanted to make sure that I had the best quality water that was going into the system, so that I don't have to fight with different issues that could arise with the system. I was able to talk to Robbie a little bit over the weekend, or not over the weekend, but maybe it was like a week ago. But we talked about, me getting the system up and running, and that there's this bacteria that forms on a surface area in the system, and the way that we have achieved that, and Robbie describes in the plans for this system, is that you go out and you buy these loofah shower balls that you can pick up at like Dollar General, at any kind of local dollar store, or wherever. Like a lot of department stores sell them and stuff. So basically, the idea of those is that they go into one of your filter tanks, and then it provides a large surface area for the bacteria to form on. They also sell. There's also sold these plastic beads that do the same thing, but the idea is that it's providing a large surface area for this bacteria to thrive in. And basically what that bacteria is doing is it's helping to break down it's helping the nitrogen cycle, so that it can help provide the nutrients that the plants are ready to uptake. Basically, it's what plants crave. So the bacteria is creating what plants crave. So anyway, we were talking, and he was saying that it might be a good idea for me to come down and grab some of the water from his system, because it should already have like a lot of that bacteria that's kicking in his system, that could help get this one up and going, and all balanced out and everything. Was one thing about aquaponics systems when you first get them started, is that you can see large fluctuations in the pH of the water. So that's what I've noticed when we started the system that I had going at my city property, when I was still living in the city, in my little house in the city. Set up a system back there, and when I first got the system going and had some fish in there, we started to see like huge swings in pH. Like it was getting really like way too, I think we were going way too maybe alkaline. And we figured out that part of that problem was I was trying to I was actually having some interaction between this concrete that I had in the system and the water. So like that's a big no-no, is any kind of lime, or any kind of interaction with something like a concrete, or limestone, or anything like that. The water will actually start to interact with that, and it will turn everything more on the alkaline side. Like, so I think I remember I was like pouring in like a ton of like vinegar and stuff, and I couldn't get the pH to balance out. But that was my big issue, is because I was trying some, silly stuff with aircrete in the aquaponics system, trying to create my own vortex tanks and stuff like that out of 55-gallon barrels, but I just like screwed it all up. I couldn't get it to seal right, and learned that just go ahead and buy those little cone tanks, or come up with a different solution. What I actually ended up doing was just going straight to a couple of plastic 55-gallon barrels, and calling it a day, and just making some plumbing fittings from it to act as my filter barrels. But yeah, I learned a lot through that, and I think even in the beginning, you're gonna have some, before that bacteria gets established in the system. You'll have these pH. You can have these pH swings in the water, which is no good for the fish. You really need like a stable. You need a stable, like, neutral pH for the fish to thrive, and all the stuff in the system to thrive. So it's pretty important to have a high quality water if you're gonna get an aquaponics system going. And so, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with these aquaponics systems, which is why I wanted to have it there at the makerspace, to like just be able to show more people about how aquaponics works, and some of the lessons learned. And I think the system that Robbie designed here, it's like everything that he's learned over the years of doing aquaponics. And so this is kind of a refined. So this is kind of a refined system. So so I think it's cool to show off to other people, and have at the makerspace, and have it be there, and actually grow some food for uh, like events and stuff that happen at the makerspace. Like, that's part of what I'll be doing with this, is like they're having uh, different communities. There's a it's called the Hubs Co-op, and they provide like bikes to like homeless people in the city of Huntsville. And they had like a pretty big event, and I was out there building the system during that event, and a lot of people were like pretty jazzed about seeing that system in operation. And well, wasn't in operation at the time, but I was working on building it. But a lot of people came up to me and were talking to me about it. Um, so things like that, actually being able to grow some food out of there, I think will be a neat demonstration for the folks that come around to those different events. And hopefully be able to show that off, and maybe actually run a couple workshops, like on the whole theory of aquaponics, and like what's going on in the system, and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of my goals, and like just to spread this knowledge, because I think it's one way for folks that maybe you have a little suburban or urban backyard. You don't have a ton of room to be able to grow it using traditional gardening, or like maybe your backyard's like all concrete or something like that. Well, I mean, that would be perfect for something, this urbanite system to put in your backyard. And then you could have not just this grow bed, but you could have several other like raised beds that are beside the system, that you could flow the water into as well. And just as long as they don't have any of those things in there that might interact with the water and mess up the pH. But yeah, you could offshoot this grow bed, and you could do other grow beds like wicking beds is an idea. And wicking beds is just like you take that water from the system, you use that to water these beds that basically have a standpipe, just like a PVC pipe that goes down in the bottom of the bed, and you fill that with stone, and then all your soil can go on top of those on top of that stone. So like whenever you want to provide water to it, like the all you got to do is you would pull water off your aquaponics system, which has gone through the filters and everything like that, and is already like feeding some of the plants, and you can pull some of that water coming from the sump area that's gonna get like fed back into the aquarium, and you could pull some of that off with like a T, and you could use that to fill these wicking beds, and then provide a nutrient-rich water source for all those plants that you're growing in soil wicking beds. So it would help you save a lot of water, and that it would provide a lot of nutrients for those soil beds as well. Shalom, Normak. Shalom. Good to see you here, man. I've got the chat integrated with the different scenes now, so I can see everybody without having to jump around a whole lot now. So that's simple. But I still want to figure out like maybe a way to make that chat look a little prettier, a little neater when it's on the screen. But still got to figure that out. But here is the final video. I've been showing off the progress I've been making with the Urbanite aquaponics system. And here is the last little video I took while I was up there. And it's just showing you how fast this water is being generated. And here you go. So this is the rate that the water is being generated right now. The RO filter will generate up to 50 gallons of filtered water a day. And we had to dial back the pressure a bit in order to, because we were causing some leaking in the plumbing. So we might have to play with that a little bit. But as soon as we get some good plumbing, we should increase the rate. And just wanted to show you a little bit on how that's working. I just got to fill up this old barrel, so it's going to take quite a while. So we're going to see if we can let this run, and just whoever's last out of the building can shut it off. So that's what we got going on right now. All right, so one of the guys at the makerspace actually calculated our flow rate, and it looks like it's doing 2 gallons per hour roughly at 48.5 gallons per day. The water's being generated, and they just gave me an update through their Discord that the water was almost a couple inches from the top of the 55-gallon barrel. So they started to they opened the valve at the bottom of the barrel to allow it to fill the sump tank. So generated about 55 gallons of water over I guess maybe a day and a half, or I guess around a day, because I installed it around this time last evening. So yeah, that'd be about a day. There's almost 55 gallons of water there. So pleased about that. Shalom from Uncle Bonehead. What's up, Uncle Bonehead? Good to see you, man. Another shalom. So yeah, that's what I was up to for the past few days. Uh, what I don't have for you is the next project that I want to work on, but let's go check out Robbie's virtual presentation here on the Urbanite system that he created. And I wanted to remind you guys about this. You can go scan this QR code here on his website, and this will link you to the virtual tour that I'm opening up right now. So if you want, go check that out on your phone and see if you can scan that QR code. And while I got it pulled up on the screen here, if you're watching on any of the live streams, any of the video live streams, if you want to go to that and you want to pull that up and maybe see if you can scan that with your phone, and it'll take you to that virtual tour. And let me know if that QR code works for you, because we want to I want to put this on the side of the system so that when people come over to the makerspace, that they can scan that QR code and they will be able to get connected to this virtual tour and check out Robbie's website from there as well. So yeah, if you guys want to check that out, let me see. Can I do something here? I guess it's a... Oh man, that's stupid. Let's see if I could save this file. Save this image real quick on my La Computadora. Save that. And then let me see if I can post it to you guys in the Discord chat. Possibly. Maybe. I think this is it, maybe. There we go. So yeah. See if you can QR code scan that, and it'll take you to what I'm about to show you here, which is this twin motion virtual reality tour of the Urbanite aquaponics system. So let's see. So I can move, scroll the mouse wheel, pan, hold the mouse wheel, and drag. Orbit, click and drag, look around, click and drag. So you can do that, and then there's also some options for how you can do that on your phone. There's some different controls for the phone on how you can do all that. So yeah, this is a pretty cool little walkthrough on this, and you can see how everything fits together. So you have the water that comes from your aquarium tank here, and it spills out into the bottom of the first filter tank. And once it reaches the height of this standpipe here, which is an 1.5 inch PVC, the water will overflow and spill into the next filter tank. And that's got this slotted PVC, still 1.5 inch, with a 15-degree slots cut into the sides of the PVC on one side facing up. And let me see if I can zoom into that. Ew. So let's see. So yeah, you can kind of see that here in the model on how that's all set up here. And that's just basically to try to block any of the solids that are have made their way through that first filter tank, and to help reject any more of those solids that are going to come through there. And then you have the water exiting that tank and then filling in the grow bed here. So that grow bed is filled with like river stone that you can pick up at like pretty much any local, you know, garden store, big box store. You can find that stuff. And once it's in this grow bed, there's a what's called a bell siphon, and the bell siphon is protected by this 6-inch piece of PVC that is cut so that it will reach the top of the grow bed. And that allows the water to flow through and guards the bell siphon against all the rock media that's in the bed, so it keeps it from clogging up that bell siphon. And once that reaches the height of that bell siphon, it'll start it'll start the siphon effect. So let's see here. And it will drain down into its final sump tank, where it gets pumped back up into the top aquarium and starts all over again. Have a good one, Uncle Bonehead. Thanks for stopping by, man. I hope you have a great evening and a great week. So there we are. Let's see. Did that post to the? Did that even post? Oh no, it didn't even post. There we go. Sorry about that. That was what I wanted to post in the chat room there for you guys. But that link should take you to this virtual tour, and you'll be able to check out, you know, in a greater detail how this is all set up. So that bell siphon drains down through here through that 1.5-inch PVC there, and into that final sump tank. So as you can see in that sump tank, there's your pump so that you can pump the water back into the top of the aquarium. So that's the rundown of the system, and that's how everything works. So another update, I guess, for you guys is my chickens, and they're still doing their thing out there. This is basically what they're doing all the time. They're getting fed in this compost ring, and just waking up every morning and opening up their door. And I've got 14 of these guys. We don't know which ones are roosters yet, or which ones are hens. So I still haven't figured out which ones are male and female. But I've got a bunch of different. I think probably 4 different breeds of chickens here. So I think they're like French Marins, Rhode Island Red, one called I think it's Wyandotte, and then one that's called like I think they're called Sex Links. At least that's what my friends told me that they would most likely be. So they're like mutts, and so they've been pretty fun. Like one of the things that we laugh about is that the chickens like to do the anime run, like the Naruto run, where you're like put your arms way back and like you're running like really intensely. So it's like as soon as one of the chickens finds some food, it's like the other chickens are like freaking out, like, "Oh my god, what's that? What do you have over there? This is awesome." So, so this is a great meme here, and it's one of those things that you know I think I think about a lot. Is like people are always thinking that the government might save you from the problems that they created. So it's pretty much sums that up. Dear government, please save us from the problems that you created. Amen. um, yeah, here's another one. The government's not failing you; they're actually trying to kill you. It's a big difference. I like this dude, Farmer Till I Die or Get Disappeared on Twitter. I started to follow him. He's pretty good. He's got some good takes. If you guys want to go check him out, he's formerly uh, different guy, I guess, or I guess he's a Marine veteran. Uh, regenerative educational permaculture farm, dabbles in crypto. Sorry if not enough space. Unify Farms. He's over in Missouri, I guess. But but yeah, he's got some pretty good takes, man. So shout out to Farmer till I die or get disappeared. So he's always throwing down the memes. Dig slow, plant grow, fuck the NWO. And that's what we got to do, I think, guys, is just we got to take the responsibility for ourselves. You got to take that responsibility to be free. And nobody's going to come to save us. We got to start being more proactive on the things that are coming down the pipeline, and so that's a big reason why I want to do why I chose to do this show is like here are some potential solutions that I see that I'm working on myself. And I guess one of the things that I was talking about today with one of my friends, because he was expressing concern about the banking, a lot of the issues with the banking, all these banks going, some of these banks having the different runs on the banks, and then a potential for some kind of event going down. Like I've heard that in one of the African countries, they started to like actually destroy physical cash and the cash from ATMs, and kind of like not give you a whole lot of choice to having to accept some kind of digital form of currency through the state. And so I can't remember which country that was that I heard about that, but let's see. African country digital dollar or digital currency. Let's see. Government digital currency, maybe. Sorry. Bear with me here. Nigeria, I believe. So, let's see. So let's see here. Nigeria becomes the first African country to launch a digital currency. And let's see, when was this article? 25th of October in 2021. So let's see. But yeah. So anyway, I heard about this story where for the Nigeria, where they were starting to destroy the physical cash in the country, and basically encouraging basically kind of cutting off the option for them to use that physical cash. Let's see. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari launched the country's new digital e-naira currency on Monday as Africa's largest economy took to tap into the growing popularity of virtual money and cryptocurrencies. With the e-naira, Nigeria becomes the first in sub-Saharan Africa to fully launch a digital currency and joins China and a few other countries in piloting a central bank regulated electronic tender. We have become the first country in Africa and one of the first in the world to introduce a digital currency to our citizens, Buhari said at the official launch. Let's see. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, are both virtual money though the CBDCs are legal tender regulated by central banks, while cryptos are outside of government control. 5 countries have already launched CBDCs, with another 14, including Sweden and South Korea, in the pilot stage, according to the Atlantic Council CBDC tracking project. In West Africa, Ghana is also looking to launch its own CBDC. Nigeria's central bank earlier this year sought to control the use of cryptocurrencies by ordering banks to close accounts that were involved in such transactions. But in spite of the central bank ban, many Nigerians still skirt traditional sectors to use cryptocurrency for overseas transactions. Experts say digital currencies can potentially reduce transaction costs and ease cross-border transfers while expanding financial inclusion, as people with no banking access can use their mobile phones. The use of CBDCs can help move many more people and businesses from the informal to the formal sector, increasing the tax base of the country, Buhari said. Coming after them taxes. Oh, so, that's the whole thing about the rollout of the CBDCs is that, you wanted to do tax avoidance of, you want to keep that money away from the state. It's like once they get you hooked in onto a central bank currency, man, it's like it'd be very difficult to get around that. But Kenya signs, let's see, Normock put down from Watcher Guru, Kenya signs deal with Saudi Arabia, UAE to buy oil with Kenyan shillings instead of US dollars. Imagine taking African money for oil. That's how bad things are. Wow. That's pretty hilarious. So, so that was from the Arab News. So anyway, I kind of see how that could go down. But anyway, I say all that to say, okay, what's the solution to something like that happening? I mean, in my opinion, what we've been doing in our local freedom cell is, we're starting to, trade with each other using stuff like Monero, and just trading labor to do certain things so that we can help each other out with the projects that we have going on, and everybody is working on raising their own animals and growing their own gardens. And we also did a seed swap event recently, so we exchanged the seeds from some of the crops that we had the previous season and some of the seeds that we were able to save from those crops from the previous season. So that's how I'd like to say that you could be proactive here is figure out the folks that are around you, whether it be in our online community as well. You know, if there's any kind of products or services that you offer that we can offer to each other, you know, through this community here. You know, let people know what you have to offer and what kind of products that you can make, and then let's do a trade and start trading with each other, with crypto and stuff. So let's start using alternatives so that we're being proactive. We've got those networks of trade established so that we can know I can get X thing from my friend over here and then X thing from my friend over there, like I've got a connection to my buddy Daniel that's a farmer and he raises the lamb over here. Like, if you guys needed some meat or whatever that would like to buy from a farmer that's doing good work, like we could work out a deal for I could ship you guys some of that lamb, or you can buy directly from him. But you know, I don't know if he would use alternatives as of right now. I mean, he's kind of in the in the above board market, but we can operate in the we can operate in alternatives. So anyway, just throwing those ideas out as just one example of how we're starting to be more proactive on this. And I saw that Derek Bros he tweeted out something a little earlier today, and yeah, it was this. Does anyone else feel like they're in a race against time to prepare for CBDCs, climate lockdowns, the next pandemic, inflation, and further limitation of rights? I do my best not to, but yes, even I do sometimes feel like I am in a race against the clock. And yeah, man, I mean, I feel it myself. You know, I talk about this a lot, and this is why we're doing the Freedom Cell thing, and it's why we got the community. We're working on community because that's a big key point in this whole thing is to try to figure out some kind of a community to rally around, so that when things go down and the rug gets pulled out from underneath us, that we're not just like scrambling to figure out everything. But you know, um, it's tough, dude. When you're looking at a lot of this stuff, it's like I think all you can do is like day by day try to continue to build your community, continue to work on your self reliance, build out your trade networks, and just continue to do that day by day to figure out what's going on. So, uh, Texas armed standoff ends after 15 years. What Normock just posted. Rondon says that he wants to talk about that on his show. I'll let you guys cover the story. You guys can cover that story. But yeah, when I took that rifle training with tactical response over there in Tennessee with James Yeager, who has passed. Unfortunately, he had. I guess what's the name of that disease that they did the ice bucket challenge for? ALS. He had ALS, and he lost his fight against that last year, and had a celebration of life thing for him. But one of his videos, if I could dig it up, it was a really good video. that he put out talking about the whole issue of gun control. And he was one of the guys that went out, I believe, when the feds were going after the Bundys over their dispute against the property that they had been ranching for years and years. That he was actually one of the guys that went out to provide assistance to the Bundys in that thing. And I believe one of the reasons they were so successful with that, with taking a stand there, whereas you see events that happen like Waco and Ruby Ridge, where those people just got gunned down by the feds, that there were a lot of people that joined to aid the Bundys, and that were armed. And that's, I think, the thing that would most deter these tyrants from coming after people is if people quit living in fear and actually stood up for one another when times like that come about. Um, because that's one thing that these guys don't want to get kicked off. I don't think, people actually standing with each other in defense. So, but that, that video he put out about that was like a lot of 2A guys and guys are all about like, well, if they start coming door to door, coming after my guns, then, that's when I'm going to start doing something. And it's like, no, man, dig up those damn guns and, make sure that you can help out the folks that are, in need. So I think that, what happened with the Bundys was, kind of inspirational to show you that there can be, an effective resistance on that type of defensive means. And so yeah, disclaimer, for the YouTube censors out there, that this is this is a comedy show, and this is all just comedic ranting, and nothing I say should be taken seriously. So there you go. We will be shifting over to an Odysee only stream. I will also be streaming on mspwaves.com/watch. So if you guys will head over to Odysee, you guys can continue to watch the live stream there, or you can hang on MSP Waves. If you're hanging out in the Discord chat, you can hang out there. And we're going to get into the second hour of the podcast here. So let me make sure that I can shut everything down on the old YouTube's ends of things and kick them out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream on YouTube here. And we're going to continue on Odysee.